All right, so I only have a 15-minute on my simulcast, so that's why it cut me off so you guys can finish your notes in this way. So the overview of the synaptic transmission, which is what you have for your last page of notes here. Let's talk about actually what happens. The first thing that happens is action potential arrives at the presynaptic terminal. So you see this down right here. This is where it's going to arrive. The calcium channels open on presynaptic terminal because the neurotransmitters are the ones that's sending the messages to open up the channels. The synaptic vesicles release neurotransmitter. No, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Synaptic vesicles release neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters bind to receptors on the postsynaptic neuron, which is the one that came before, okay, one that's over here, like we talked about. And then the potassium or the sodium channels open on the postsynaptic neuron and the impulse continues. So that's when we say that a neuron takes an action and takes to another neuron. This is the whole thing that's happening very, very, very quickly. Okay. We talked about what's happening on each part as it's going down, but this is what's happening to continue on the synaptic transmission and action potential. So this happens for anything that's involuntary, like breathing and heart beating, things like that, but it also happens with anything that's voluntary, or movements of any kind. So that is the last part of your notes. Just a reminder this week, things that we're going to get into is, or things you need to turn in is your crash course notes that you're going to take over that video and your nervous system worksheet number 2. Next week we will get into the brain and all of the lobes of the brain, and then we will have, after we get through that, we will have our test over nervous system part 1 before we get into the senses and the different parts of the body of the senses. This is a lot of information, guys, so I want to make sure that you're going through your notes, you're reading through it, and you're understanding what we're discussing. If there's any questions that you have, you can ask on your Zoom meetings, you can call me, you can text me, and hopefully I can help you get that all together. I love y'all. I miss you, and make wise choices.